This is the new V2 Beetronics Octahive. It is the busiest, filthiest, nastiest B-type fuzz I have ever played. Wow! This monster of a pedal is a high-gain fuzz with a well-pronounced high octave. Some of you might be having a case of déjà vu because this is a version 2. Version 1 in its stock form was this beautiful powdery blue submarine distressed horrible looking found at the bottom of the ocean fuzz, and I loved it. In fact, I was walking through Thomond one day and I saw it in the glass case and I absolutely had to get it out and try it from looks alone. And now we have an updated version. This begs the question, why release a version 2 and how is it updated? Firstly, it's much smaller. It's in fact the same enclosure as the Vezzpa, which means more space on your pedal board, and this is probably easier to produce. I will check out the sound differences between these two pedals in this video, by the way. Octahive version 2 is also a new circuit, new and improved and guaranteed to remove 99% of all fuzz stains, etc. It has some new features. Let's go over them. If you're familiar with the Octahive 1, the knobs are the same. We've got pre, which is the gain before the pedal circuit. Then we've got honey, which is the gain of the circuit, and then a master volume knob. We've got input, output, and 9 volts, and a multi-functional foot switch. So pressing it once will turn the pedal on. Double pressing it will change the mode. So that is no octave, that is with octave. And holding it down will give you a momentary switch to the other mode. In this video, I'm going to try the pedal through the Fender Deluxe Reverb and the Victory Sheriff 25 and the Katana Artist. And so far in that intro track, you heard it through the Katana Artist and it sounds absolutely brilliant through that amp. But now it's time for my top 5 tones, which are my 5 favorite sounds that I can get from the pedal. For the first one, I'm going to max the controls and put the octave on and hear what that sounds like. That is one of the fattest, gnarliest, synthiest, buzzy sounds I've ever heard. It's so thick and beefy, and it puts this pedal right near the top of my favorite fuzz pedals ever. Let's turn it off for a moment and have a listen to the clean tone. So there's crunch there. It's driven, it's on the crunch channel of the Katana, and when you add in this fuzz, it just gnars that up nicely and fattens up that bottom end. If I put it through the Fender Deluxe Reverb, that is the clean tone. And let's try the Sheriff. So you can hear that it doesn't take chords that well, in my opinion. It's more a single note riffing fuzz until you get up to this kind of area on the neck pickup. I could play that like forever. That is one of my favorite tones on guitar. I don't know how long I'd still be allowed to make YouTube videos for, and I'd probably be thrown out of my band. But it's just so much fun. That is worth the entry price alone. I love it. Right, let's try another one. Let's do pre-gain all the way up and gain all the way down. So honey all the way down. What this needs is a baritone. That's really good. Let's try that with the Katana. 1 note is optimal, 2 notes gets it into really thick territory. Any more than 2, you're entering, what is that? What is that? Not saying I don't like it, just saying that, you know, it's starting to become less coherent. Let's do minimum pre-gain and maximum honey. It does nothing because the pre-gain's all the way down. Let's turn that up a touch. That's Nintendo Commodore territory. Let's change back to guitar. So the next tone, let's try leaving the pre-gain where it is, just turned on, and turn that down to about halfway, about there. Oh, that's fun. It's interesting to note that it's actually clearer on the neck pickup than it is on the bridge humbucker. So that's kind of almost too much signal. And then neck. It's thinning. Is it the tone? No, it's warmer on the bridge pickup than it is on the neck pickup. Probably something to do with the level of gain coming out of the guitar. Right. Cool. Very cool. Let's try another one. I haven't done any non-octave sounds, so let's turn the octave off and leave the knobs where they are. There's a considerable volume drop. It's mainly a volume drop in the beefiness of the tone. Of course, you're losing that at higher octave, but there's a beefiness that's missing now. Let's max everything first. Okay, there's more clarity with the non-octave. There's that going for it, but for me, I'm never going to turn that octave off. Never say never, but I'm rarely going to turn that octave off. Let's try something up here. All right, now I'm not so sure. I like both. I prefer octave on. It's just a bigger, fatter sound. However, it is super high gain in both levels, so I'm just going to play around with the gain a little bit. Octave on. I gotta say, this is the sound that I associate with Beetronics. It's a certain EQ, it's a certain level of dying battery, grunty fuzz that every other pedal they release, I kind of compare to this sound. And I don't think any other pedal company I've heard does this sound like Beetronics does it. So let's whip this out and stick in the Vezzpa as well and find out what is the difference between these two and which one do I prefer. Is it the custom painted Geek model? Could be. So Octahive off, and then we've got two controls on this. We've got sustain and volume, which are currently maxed, and we're going to do maxed versus maxed. And let's put on the extra octave from the Vezzpa. And let's switch guitars to the Albatroz. Yeah, okay, so the Octahive is more deep and teeth and round and fat and more, dare I say, vintagey riffage. And then the Vezzpa is more sort of stinging you right between the eyes, modern, aggressive fuzz. So there's a big difference between these two. Let's try a nasty little riff. First, the Octahive. Yeah, there's more clarity with the Vezzpa, but you're kind of I'm missing that bottom end. So this is really a nasally fuzz, and the Octahive is again fatter. So if you're after a fat dark fuzz, maybe go for the Octahive. If you want something that stings you between the eyeballs, then the Vezzpa could be more your flavor. One thing I haven't tried with the Octahive is the momentary thing. So firstly, it's off. And if you hold it down, it will momentarily come on and then go off again. That could be super useful if you're just going for a solo or something, or some kind of riff that just uses that tone. Hold it down with your foot as you're playing, release your foot, fuzz goes off. I would find that very useful in my band. Let's ignore the Vezzpa for now. Let's turn it on and go no octave, and then just tap in that octave a little bit. Okay, that's cool, but I much prefer the fact that you can momentarily turn the whole pedal on and off, because, as I've already said, I would probably leave this in the octave mode anyway. I want to take a look inside this pedal, because Beetronics pedals always have a really fun circuit board. So let's crack this open and see what's under the hood. Ah, look at that. Cool. That is a Hendrixy kind of B. 𝗔𝗩𝗔𝗕𝗟𝗔𝗕𝗏 with a flying B, with a jacket that looks very much like the one I own. That is a beautiful, I don't know, I was about to say unnecessarily beautiful, but if it's beautiful on the inside, then that shows the care they've taken to it, right? Oh, it says Octahive there. There, I didn't see that when I opened it up. I've got OC136, cool. Also, by the way, I've got Velcro on here because I used this at a gig last week, and I've got some footage of that, so I'll play that for you now. The audio in that clip was actually pretty bad, but for every fuzz type solo, I used the Octahive V2, and it performed really well, although on stage we had major sound issues and couldn't hear our instruments very well. I think the major downside to this is the volume drop when you're not using the octave, or the volume boost when you are using the octave, depending on how you look at it. The other one is with the knobs on top. If you're playing, you can't see where these knobs are set, so it's pretty much a set and forget. If you want to play with it, then you have to listen rather than look, which is a good skill to have for a guitar player. Regarding the fact that it's a version 2, I kind of miss the aesthetic of the version 1. That blue one really captured my heart, and this one being all black and gold looks very cool. However, I'm missing that distressed look of the original, so it makes me a little sad. Sounds pretty much the same, if not a little bit darker. That could just be, you know, my ears, but this sounds almost exactly the same as the Octahive version 1, and if you have the Octahive version 1 and you don't need to make your pedal board smaller, you don't really need to upgrade. However, if you want some Octahive in your life, version 2 is available now for $199 thereabouts, and around 220 euros, and somewhere in between in pounds. There are links underneath this video where you can find up-to-date pricing in your region, and if you visit there, then I get a little kickback from the affiliate, so thank you for supporting the channel if you do that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my video of this fuzzy little bee, and if you want more from me, then there's a subscribe button right there. You can click and notify and do all that sort of stuff, and I will be in your inbox or in your notifications very, very soon. I've been Andy, you've been you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.